I'll start. Welcome everybody. Monday, April 24th for Mentor Monday. Host number 1 today is Claudia Bohorquez, but I do have the pleasure to introduce one of our new co-hosts today, which is Mati Gomez from Canada. Mati, tell me something about you that is interesting and incredible.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here from Toronto. I can say I'm doing that also because English is my second language and I want to improve myself to get out of my comfort zone. And I love these meetings. I can say also I'm very excited today with the topic and the presenter, Daughtrey. And yeah, and I'm ready to continue learning and improving myself.
Very good, Mati. And we have such a good series. We're actually finishing now our series of Why for Life. So we talked about product, we talked about tools, we talked about why for life is so different and unique. And so it is wonderful, the topics that we have. And so today we have a great topic, and who better than Dave himself to tell us about this 4th topic. So Mati, tell me something. What are like 2 or 3 things that you love about our speaker today?
Okay, first, I met him and I have the pleasure to meet him in Utah last October. It was a wonderful experience because it changed my mind. You let me, Dave, to open my mind in better ways, because I went to the Hilton also. It wasn't like a wow. I don't know what to say. It blew my mind. The way that you did the presentation, even my mentor too, with Karen, we were like super happy and excited after that. Like you encouraged me to do it better every day, to continue with this project, even if I have bad moments in my life here in Canada, and or I want to have more people with me, join me in my team. I said, no, we continue, because that's why I went to Utah, to feel that inspiration, that they can my dreams come true in the future, soon, in the present, in the future. And that's why I'm here and continue learning with you every week. Yeah.
Mati, very good. I love it. And today's topic is how to understand your audience. And with For Life, I really do think it's so important because of what we have, what incredible product and company and everything. But sometimes we just don't know how to understand the other person that we have. And we have so many good things we want to talk. And sometimes we talk too much, and sometimes we don't talk enough, and sometimes we don't listen, or sometimes we listen too much and do so this is why today is such a good opportunity to learn from the best platinum of platinums, Dave Daughtrey, our grandpa. Everybody in Latin America is under him, with more than 2 million people under him, registered, signed up at any point in his career. He probably has been able to master the art of understanding the audience. So today with us, please give applause and heart to our Platinum International, Dave Daughtrey.
Thank you, Claudia, and thank you, Maddie. You know, I was kind of chuckling listening to Maddie. I really appreciate your words. Thank you. But yeah, at convention, Maddie was so excited. She left her cell phone in the meeting room, in the event room. And I found a cell phone. And so I finally was able to reach out to her and let her know that, hey, I've got your phone. And then I gave it to her the next day at the main event. But that was kind of funny. But anyhow, you know, these events and I don't know, it could be an event, it could be a meeting, it could be a rally, it could be pretty much anything. It could be running into someone that talks to you about For Life. When things come together, when you're inspired and you're ready to make a change in your life, it doesn't matter really where you come from, what your circumstances are, where you live, especially in today's environment, in this world of globalization that we live in. None of that matters. All that matters is your desire and your readiness to do something. We all have a beginning every one of us has a beginning in our journey towards achieving our dreams, our goals, our mission, whatever it may be. But you just have to say, you know what? Okay, it's time. I'm ready. I'm going to do this. And then you just focus and you do it. And as you travel this journey, there is just so much that you experience. So today I'm going to share with you some of my experiences. And actually, I'd like to begin because Claudia, you mentioned this when you were talking about Renuvo. Yeah, I love Renuvo. I love it so much. I even give it to Odin. Gave him one last night in his food, you know, because he's very athletic and it's a recovery product, has a lot of adaptogens in it, helps you adapt. But I want to share something with you all real quick. I'm going to share my cell phone. Let me get to the Zoom meeting here. Excuse me. And I'm going to share with you my testimony. This is a few years back. I was in my I'm 63. I just turned 63 this month. So I would have been in my late 50s. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Claudia was talking about this hike. And I just so happened to, you know, have picked the pictures in my Google Drive. So I thought, so here I am with my son, Brandon, and we're hiking in a place called Yosemite. If you look up Yosemite, you know, it's Yosemite National Park. It's one of the most beautiful parks in the world. It's just gorgeous. And we hiked this, and this is actually one of the highest points in all Yosemite. You can see there, I'm just kind of celebrating after hiking to the top of that. I was carrying about 32 kilos on my back of camera gear, food, you know, my sleeping supplies on my back. Everyone was going light. I had 32 plus kilos on my back. It was mainly the camera gear. So here I am, like I'm on top of the world. This is after a day of hiking. Those are my feet there. Yeah, they're sore from hiking, but I was taking my Renuvo. And that's the mountain that one of the last mountains I climbed, climbed to the very top of that. Here we are getting ready to climb it. I'm the oldest guy in the bunch, a bunch of young folks, they're young kids. And here we are getting ready to climb that. So that's what I climbed right there. And there I am at the top. Pretty cool picture, huh? Look at this, the valley below. You can see the canyon down there, right, basically on the top of the world. And can you imagine if those rocks fell? But anyhow, I'm there in the blue, sitting next to Brandon on the edge. So that's Yosemite. So anyhow, I thought I would just share that with you. But I really was surprised. I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was, as to how I felt. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Sorry. How I felt, my level of energy, and just the overall, you know, body aches and pains you feel when you're carrying, you know, 30 plus kilos on your back, hiking some of the, you know, highest mountains in the world. But I did it, and I felt good, actually. So that's just a testament as to how our products are, how great our products really are. And when you have a great product, you feel proud to share it with people, but you have to understand the product. You see, I've always said knowledge creates confidence, confidence creates action. So this journey that I was talking about in the beginning here of you traveling towards your goals, success, your dreams, you should be acquiring more confidence as you build your business, as you learn. There's a process to success in anything that you achieve in life. There's a process to it. And so here, part of this process is, of course, the learning curve. You learn. And as you learn, as you share, you start to develop these skills, all kinds of skills. It could be the skill of presenting. It could be the skill, maybe all of a sudden you start to become bolder and you become unafraid of talking to people. Like, I'm really not afraid. I talk to, just give you an example. I flew to Utah this last week. My father had open heart surgery, 88 years old, had open heart surgery. I didn't know if he was going to make it through or not. He did. He's doing okay. He's actually walking now. Had him walking 24 hours after the surgery. But I wanted to be there for him. Flew to Utah, and I'm on the plane, and I sit next to. I'm in row one, first row on the plane, and a lady sitting next to me. And I was kind of busy at first. I was going through looking at some things on my phone, and probably about halfway through the flight, and I can't remember what started the conversation. Oh, that, by the way, that's a skill also. How do you begin a conversation with someone? All right. And it could be anything from, looking outside and it's cold out there and you say, boy, it looks pretty cold out there. I'm glad I brought a jacket. Just a comment, anything to begin a conversation. And so I started, talking to the lady, and she was actually pretty quiet. She was just minding her own business on the plane. And the conversation started. And one of the favorite things I like to do is I just like to ask people what they do. I'm a very curious person. I mean, I've met movie producers. I've met athletes. I sat next to Cheech of Cheech and Chong one time. I don't know if Cheech and Chong is, but he's a comedian, really funny guy. And so, I meet people, anthropologists, heart surgeons, people I've sat next to, and I'm just curious. So I asked her what she did. And she actually is a recruiter. She recruits, kind of like headhunter, I guess you could say. And she made the comment that she, because we were talking, I told her about I have 5 kids. She has 3 kids. Her kids are from the ages of 11 to 15. Well, she travels a lot. Of course, that's a real important age you want to try to be around your kids because, they're coming into adulthood. And so we were just talking, and she mentioned that she just doesn't like traveling anymore. Well, I talked to her about a home-based business. I says, well, have you ever thought about, running a business from home that we can be home? And she says, yeah, I've thought about it. But anyhow, the conversation went on, and she gave me her phone number. Her name's Courtney. And the funny thing is, when she said Courtney, I said, one of my business partners, his wife's name's Courtney. They live right here in Utah. It's Kevin Moore. You all know Kevin. His wife's Courtney. So this whole conversation was very relaxed. I wasn't trying to sell anything. I don't think I came across at all as a salesperson. When you have something you're proud of, you can share it. Okay, you can share it with someone, and you can do it with confidence. And so this part of this process, what I'm saying is that you have to get to a level of confidence that everything just becomes very natural. Now, there are some people here, and I can mention names. I know some of you right now. When you talk to people, it's very natural because you may be more social. Claudia is one of them. Claudia she's a social person. So to sit next to Claudia on an airplane, you can, it could be a 12-hour flight, and you could chit chat the whole time. And next thing you know, you're there, because you've been talking the whole time. Claudia just can carry on a conversation and enjoys people, but people are different. And so in talking today about identifying, I feel that's a real important part to success. Now, when I am with somebody, a potential prospect, and I don't know if they're really a prospect or not when I meet them, but I guess in reality, everyone's a prospect. You just never know what's going to happen, right? So it all has to begin with some form of conversation. But I kind of, and maybe this is just habitual, it's a habit of mine, I make it like a fun game. Part of the game is, at some point, I'm going to inject or insert for life and what I do. Now, the funny thing is, in talking to Courtney, here's the funny part. I'd say probably about into talking for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. For some reason, my mind started thinking, get the phone number. You can't share this with anybody on Zoom if you don't get the phone number, Dave. And I'm like, why am I thinking like that? It's like, if I'm going to share this story, in a training. I got to follow through and get, so that was really one of the motivating factors. Like, you know what? I'm sure at some point I'll be sharing the story. And I just asked her, I just simply said, if you don't mind, I'd like to send you some information on our company. They're right here, in Salt Lake City out the freeway. And I told her, she told me where she lived, the area she lived in, very, very nice area of Utah. And she said, yeah, no problem. And I have found, I honestly can't remember, you guys. I cannot remember where someone did not give me their phone number to send them information. So again, I think it just has to do with the approach, the sincerity. Anytime you speak from your heart and you're sharing something with someone and you genuinely take an interest in them. Now, like I said, in the back of my mind, this is like a chess game. What I mean by chess game is, yes, I'm talking to someone, I'm conversing. But in the process of trying to see if I can get them to be interested in what I do in For Life, it's like I'll make a move and they make a move. Now, this game of chess gets more, serious when I know I'm presenting with someone about For Life. One of my downline might call me and say, Dave, I've got a prospect. Can you talk to them? Or Dave, I've got someone that I need you to talk to, and they really don't know much of anything about For Life. They just said they would, join the call. I have that happen all the time. So when I'm talking to someone like that, and the focus, we all know the focus is going to be about For Life. I'm going to present to someone a opportunity or an option, for opportunity, a product that can have a great impact on their life, a positive impact on their health, their wellness, an industry that's $1 trillion industry, a company that's rock solid, debt-free, multinational. So I know that I'm presenting all these things. That's where I really have to up my game in this game of chess, of prospecting, identifying the person, okay? And that's what we're talking about today. Identifying this individual. At the end of the day, the most important thing is their needs. Their needs, not my needs, even though my need is to get them signed up. But in order to do that, I need to understand what their needs are. Are they financial? Are they, physical? They need something because they have a condition and they're looking for something. And you will know this as you start. And again, I refer to as I'm big on analogies. So chess game, I say chess because again, I make a move. I might talk about something and they might come up with a question. And let's say their first question is, do I have to buy a lot of product, and then go sell it? Now, if they told you that, what are they talking about? Opportunity, or are they talking about product? They're talking about opportunity because they're talking about qualifying or building their business. You see, so you have to really, really listen to understand what your next move is going to be in this process. So this is just habitual for me because I've been in this business networking, building networks for 42 years. And so it's just become habitual that when I am, in prospecting mode, which by the way, I'm not in prospecting mode 24/7. I mean, there are times like when I was at the hospital, I'm not prospecting the nurses that are looking over my dad or anything like that. I mean, there's a time and a place, obviously, but I try to take advantage of every moment I can because you never know. In fact, one of the nurses there actually did talk to her about transfer factor. No, it was the surgeon. I was talking to my dad's heart surgeon. I mean, here's one of the top heart surgeons in the country, by the way. All right. And she actually is a professor as well now. And she was the one that decided to do the surgery to an 88-year-old man, my dad. And she's, I'm asking some questions because obviously after heart surgery, one of the biggest concerns for an 88-year-old is getting up and moving. And you don't want him to get pneumonia. All right. So he has to be, trying to take deeper. And by the way, they collapse your lungs. I didn't know this. They collapse your lungs when they go in. to operate on the heart. So your lungs are completely collapsed. You're on a ventilator. Your machines are breathing for you. All right. But she's just kind of telling me, you know, I did, he put a valve in. She's explaining that the valve is actually from a cow. That kind of made me think of transfer factor. But my dad, and knowing my dad's very humorous. I said, you know, when he wakes up, he's probably going to go moo, you know, that's just my dad. But anyhow, so he had bypass and he had a new valve put in. And so she's explaining this. And then I just asked her, I said, you know, I said, have you ever heard of transfer factor? And she goes, no. And so I started telling her about it. And I told her that we have peer reviewed journals and everything. And she was genuinely curious, you know? So again, I try to be real about everything, but I take advantage of moments that I have where I can share. So back to this process of the chess game. So when you're talking to someone, at the end of the day, your goal is to bring them into your network, whether they become a customer and they say they want to try your product, or they see an opportunity, all right? And it really is going to depend on how the stage is set, meaning that if somebody, you know, the conversation starts out and it's basically about opportunity, well, then you stay focused on opportunity, meaning that you talk about, you know, the benefits of this kind of business, all right? You know, and in fact, Anderson, many of you might know Anderson, my guy in Brazil. He actually gets on some of the Spanish meetings. He was talking to someone the other day, and he just made a joke. He said, I've been with 4Life for 3 years now. He said, the last business I'd started when I was into it 3 years, I was in so much debt. I didn't know how I was going to get out of debt because I had bought so much inventory, you know, and I had to sell it. He says, here, I don't have any of that. And so that's one of the great benefits of this business is that you've got, you know, all at your disposal. You've got offices all around the world. They'll do the work for you. They'll do the shipping. They'll do they pay the commissions, the reports, you know, the inventory. They do everything for you. So in your process of sharing with people, when it comes down to opportunity, if that's the focus, lay out the benefits. Okay. And I'll ask you guys this. If somebody asked you right now, can you name, you know, 5 benefits of this kind of business? Could you do it? Could you just real quick run off the benefits? Working from home, working with a team of people, multinational, passive income, all right, building a network, developing relationships, earn while you learn. You don't have to go out and get a degree. You can start earning money right away. You can be profit mode, very low investment to start your business. You don't have to have a bunch of capital. All these things you should be able to pull right off the top of your head when you're talking to someone, if the focus is going to be on business. Now it might shift. I've been, you know, presenting to someone and all of a sudden it was a complete 180 turn. We're talking about one thing and all of a sudden, boom, they jump into something else. And this again is part of the skills you develop when you're talking to people, is that you can talk to whatever they want to talk about because you've got the knowledge to do so. And that's why I'm so big on these, you know, Mentor Mondays and get together meetings, because there might be one thing that you pick up on, and that one thing changes your entire business because you learn something new. And that's happened to me before, you know, by going to a meeting. All right. So you could be talking to someone and it could be all focused on opportunity. And all of a sudden they come up with something on the product. They might say something like, you know, so is this product, you know, let's just say they say, is it good for XYZ problem? Well, I come across and say, you know what? It focuses on your immune system. Your immune system has one major responsibility, has a few responsibilities, but one major one is identifying, identifying the threats and eliminating the threats, all right, that are attacking your body. Your immune system has that major job to identify the enemy. Transfer factor, and this is one of my favorites, by the way, it's the only thing on this planet. There is no drug, there is no vitamin, there is no herb, no mineral, nothing on the planet that can educate the immune system to identify the threats. It's like your immune system getting, millions of snapshots, pictures of what these threats look like. And now your immune system can identify it. So it really helps with everything, because every cell in your body depends on your immune system. So when I talk to people, and I've had some people say, "Oh, are you a doctor?" I'm not a doctor, but I've worked with a number of doctors in my organization, and I've listened to them and learned from them. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, knowledge. As you listen and you hear people, you want to take those things that apply to you and practice them, get better at them. When you hear a phrase or you hear a comment or you hear a statistic or something, write it down, all right? And then commit it to memory, so that when you need to pull that bullet out, you can pull it and you can fire your gun, meaning that you can give that information to someone. And that's what I'm really big on, you guys. I'm really big on bullets. When I talk to someone, I don't know if I'm going to need an elephant gun or I'm going to need a little shotgun or a BB gun. I don't know, depending on who I'm talking to, but you have to use the right gun and ammo with the right individual. And that's all something that's learned, and you learn it only one way, experience. The more that you are out sharing and talking and conversing with people, the better you get. And all of a sudden you start going through changes. And here's the crazy thing. Maybe you are more of an introvert. That's how I was. Very introverted, quiet, shy, kept to myself. But this business changed me. It taught me social skills. It taught me, how to communicate with people. It taught me how to identify people. So identifying your audience, the person you're talking to, is critical. Now, many of you have heard me talk about the colors before. And this, to me, again, is just something that just comes naturally in this game of chess. I make a move, I say something, then they make a comment, I listen to the comment, and I make another move, trying to address their needs, all right? But I quickly can identify what color they are. Are they like Claudia, where she's very blue, very social, all right? I'd say Claudia, I would say that's probably her dominant color, blue. Next, I would put her as a yellow, because Claudia is a person of emotion, feelings, really caring, genuinely caring about the person she's talking to, taking an interest in them, all right? She shows her concern for that person, all right? Which is just love and friendship, all right? Then there are people that are the opposite of that. They may not be as social, but they may still be interested because they're business people, and if they can see an opportunity, they're thinkers where they make decisions based on knowledge, not emotion. And so therefore you got to be on your A game. You got to be prepared when you're talking to that kind of person, because they're going to be hitting you with some serious questions. I mean, I've had people actually, try to cut me down, I had one guy call me a con artist. In Spanish, it's called estafador. And he said it was a con man because I do network marketing. I guess he looks at it as you're, conning people, and I've had people, just make comments to me about like, you're the salesman, trying to sell everybody. No, to me, sales really is nothing more than information being passed. And then there's an exchange. Someone decides they want to buy something, but you go to the store and buy groceries. That's a sell. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at it. Nothing to me it's just exchange. All right. Whether it's information, whether it's a product, whatever it is. But I've had people many times say things to me that are derogatory or negative. And, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I kind of find it kind of funny sometimes because they don't know me. I mean, and the same thing with you guys. If somebody makes a comment, most of the people, they don't really know you, so just let that, like water on a duck, let it roll off your back. Don't let it bother. It's no big deal. All right. But for the most part, with me, if I'm playing this game of chess and identifying people, I've gotten pretty good at it. I can identify if they're a technical person. I got to be on my A game. I got to start talking more about, the stuff that they want to hear. product technicalities, and I talk about transfer factor, explaining the benefits of transfer factor. With the opportunity, explaining a bit about, the benefits of this bullet, 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 and then they might come at me with something that I may not have the answer for. Now, here's the funny thing. I will say this, and maybe I'm bragging a little bit. After 25 years with 4Life, I probably have 19 out of 20 answers. Maybe it's even better than that. It's probably more like 97%, 97 out of 100, right? I have the answers. If they have a question, I can come back with an answer. Very, very rarely do I not have an answer. That's because I've done it for so long. And I took all the information I got and I put it in my pocket and I pull it out when I need to. Okay. That's how you want to get. You want to, and understand, one of my goals and my jobs, with this organization, with this team of people here, is to help you be the best networker you can be. We're here today, a Mentor Monday, because we want to be great networkers. Now, if you're just starting out your business right now, you've only been in for a month or two, wonderful. You're going to be learning a lot. All right. There's different topics we cover all the time. It may be on product, it may be opportunity, it may be personal development. But the whole point is they all apply. If you want to be a well-rounded networker, a world-class networker, all of these apply. And so you want to be good at all, and some you'll be better, all right, at some things than others. It might be you're better at, maybe you're better at identifying people. Maybe you're really good at that, but you're not so good at the communication part. You've identified them, but you have to communicate with them too. All right. You have to talk. All right. So you might want to work on those skills. How do you do that? Storytell. You tell as many stories as you can. You talk to people about this great company you came across, and it can be at a funeral, I guess, and people are sitting around after the funeral and they're mingling, because that's what families usually do a lot. And you start telling some people about your new business you started, whatever. The point is, the more you do it, the better you get. So the colors again, green, technical people. That's just, in my mind, when I'm talking to someone, I'll immediately think, okay, they're green. So now I know where my focus is going to be. I got to be prepared. They're going to hit me up with a lot of questions and technical stuff. Or if they're yellow, it's going to be about emotion. And yellow people, they may say something like, I just got back traveling from, this country. In fact, somebody I was talking to had traveled to Kenya. I think it was one of the people in the hospital had been in Kenya doing some work, medical work. Well, someone like that, to me, is a yellow, because obviously there's love and emotion there, and they traveled overseas to do service. When you do that, that's someone who has an emotion that they want to serve people. And so, I would focus on emotional things in this business, changing lives, helping people, whether you're helping them with the product by introducing something to them that can have bring value, quality of life to them, or an opportunity that could change their life completely and send their family off into a different direction of financial freedom. And now they can contribute to society. So again, identifying people. Yellow is emotional, green is technical, blue is social, and red is structured. So those are the one word you can use for each one. Again, green technical, yellow emotional, blue social, and red structured. Structured meaning like David Lisenby is a very structured person. Everything's in his calendar. It's all planned out the entire day. And so he doesn't like to be out of his element, have something thrown at him that all of a sudden disrupts the entire day. We've been doing on trips together. I remember one time we're actually, it was just a spur of the moment thing where Gabby and I were up in Utah with the kids. We had all the kids with us. This is a few years back. And they happened to be pulling up in a truck at 4Life, and they were heading to their cabin. They have a cabin up in the mountains. And they said, why don't you guys come with us? And we'll have lunch. Okay. So we went with them up to the cabin, and we had a lot of fun. But I remember David Lisenby, there were times where he had to look at his phone, because, something might've been going on. He's just paying attention. All right. He's very structured. That's just how he is. So those are going to be your presidents, CEOs, engineers, accountants, doctors, people like that tend to be more structured. Okay. That's how I identify people, you guys. And in talking with them, again, to me, it's like a game of chess. I make a move, they make a move. And at the end, I want to see how close I can get to bringing them into my network. And even if it ends up we're friends, they're still part of my network, the friendship network. Okay. I can always follow up with them. You know, that's the one thing that never ends, follow up. I mean, I honestly don't have the time right now to be following up with people I talked to over the last 25 years, but I could just go right back into that mode and go all the way back. Look at my yellow sheet. I mean, many of you have seen, I still got some of them right here. Then we'll finish on this. Right here next to me, all of these are notes. I think I've shown you guys this before. This is how I did things back in my day. Claudia, what's the date on that one? Can you see it? You're on, you can't see it?
I
Can
cannot.
you see the date?
August 10, 1999.
These are my notes from 1999, you guys. All right, people that I talked to. You know, somebody wanted to talk to me about Crohn's disease, apparently. Oh my gosh. Here's one of my golds right here. Her name was Terry Colton. It's now Terry Schuler. All right. Gold International Diamond. You never know. This is when we were prospecting her, you know. So I go back and look at these notes, and there's always, if you guys with your business, if you keep track of what you're doing, which you can do now with even with a cell phone by swiping the names in your contact list one way or the other, you need to make sure you run this like your life depends on it. All right. And if you do that, you will keep track of what you're doing. So you always, in your identifying people out there talking to people, you'll always be talking to new people for yourself because you're always in that mode of just having fun, bringing people into your network, right? Or you will be talking to people for your people, right? And that'll happen a lot more as you start to build your network and you're bold, you're social, you're not afraid to present with your people. And if you take a leadership role, if you declare yourself a leader, you're going to find that people in your downline are going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, you know, Trisha or Bancy or Claudia or Maddie, you know, I've got someone that's interested. Can you help me talk to them? Of course you will. It's your business and you're building your network. You see? You know, that's what this is all about. So, you know, as you continue to do that, you get better and better and better and better. And you end up becoming a world-class networker. And that's what this is really all about. So you're talking to people for yourself, people with your people, working your downline, right? Which I do a lot of every single day, talking to people with my people. Then the follow-up, you're following. If you ever find yourself with idle time, you know, like, okay, my phone's not ringing, all right? I want to build my business. Why am I just sitting here doing nothing? Follow up. Go back and look at anybody you might have talked to before and tell them, I'm just following up with you, you know. And if you do it sincerely, you know, because you really genuinely want them to be part of your network and you want to help build a business with them, or maybe even share a product with them, and maybe they're not ready. That's not your problem, by the way. If they're not ready, it's not your fault. They're not ready. You move on to someone else, but you follow up with people. And then the fourth is helping your people follow up because they may not be doing a good job of following up. So when you're talking to someone in your downline, and let's say a week ago that one of the people in your downline brought, you know, Mary to the table and you did a presentation with Mary, you know, and she said that she's going to think about it. Well, next time you're talking to the prospect, you know, let's say it was Joseph that brought Mary to the table and you're talking to Joseph, ask Joseph, how's Mary doing? Maybe Joseph didn't follow up with her. It's like, let's follow up. Let's reach out to her and find out. You'd be amazed, you guys, amazed how many seeds get planted. Somebody hears about For Life. They hear about Transfer Factor. They hear about our great products, but nobody follows up with them. So that seed was just planted. All right. The hard work was done. All right. The soil has been prepared and tilled, and somebody else comes along and throws a little water on it and fertilizer, and that person signs up with them because the other person didn't follow up. And I get that now and then. I'll talk to someone, they'll say, yeah, I heard about For Life. Well, apparently, maybe they weren't ready, but they weren't followed up with either. So to finish today, you guys, I want to share something else with you. I want to encourage all of you, to go on YouTube and find someone that inspires you that you can listen to. I have my people, and I'm going to share my screen here. And I say this, it doesn't even have to be in the network marketing arena. All right. I have people, whether it's Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, and this is one of my favorites right here. Can you see my screen, Claudia?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Okay. YouTube. Right here. What does that say at the top there? Can you see that?
Minute. What did it say?
Minute
With Max.
Minute with Maxwell. Yeah. So these are simple 2 to 3 minute clips. All right. And I enjoy listening to John Maxwell, but if you want to just each morning or each night before you go to bed, whatever the timing is for you, just put in the search Minute with Maxwell, and then play one of these. They're awesome. Like right here, your messaging. All right. Here's one I'm going to play.
One of the biggest fitness myths is when people say carbs make you fat.
Gotta
Carbs
wait
don't
till
make you fat.
ad.
I'm a big donut
Sorry.
guy.
There we go.
Hi, John Maxwell here. Welcome to Minute with Maxwell. We're looking at the 16 laws of communication. The law of visual expression, which is the 11th law, basically says show and tell is better than tell. We've all heard the fact that a picture is worth 1,000 words. But what I've always thought is if you give words and show the picture, sometimes at the same time, it's incredibly life-changing. For example, the picture you see is one that was taken during COVID. You see me there with a lemon, and I'm holding a glass, and basically I'm visually saying to the people when handed a lemon, what do? Well, you make lemonade. Many times when I have my exchange events every year in a different city to about 120 top leaders, I'll take my camera, I'll take my iPhone, and I'll pull out a dozen pictures, and I'll show them the pictures, and I'll say, off of this picture, let me teach you a lesson. And it's become kind of a tradition that I always do a lesson on the pictures of the last 12 months of my life. People eat it up. Why? Because people do what people see. Not necessarily do they do what people hear, but when they hear it and see it, you've got the double strength of saying and showing. And that's the law of visual expression. My name's John. Thanks for joining us today on Minute with Maxwell.
So there you go. You can watch one of those a day. In fact, I hadn't seen that one before, but isn't that interesting? What's our 4 steps that we talk about? Anybody remember? We'll finish up here, but anybody remember when we talk about the 4 steps we do every Tricia?
Tell, show, try, do.
Exactly. All right. So he's talking about telling, which he does, and then showing. All right. And that's why I've always got here with me products. I show people products. I carry them with me. They're all over my house. If a guest comes over and goes into the bathroom, they're going to see the hand wash. They might see an aqua there, in the kitchen, everything from Gold Factor to Energy Go sticks. I mean, the kitchen's just loaded with products on the countertop. All right. They're all over the place. I want people to see it. And I want them to try it. You come into my house, yeah, you can grab a Go sticks, a Rio Vita sticks. We got this big glass thing full of Rio Vita sticks that people can just grab one and make themselves a Ria Vita sticks, or Gabby usually ends up making it for them. She'll make something from them to drink, but you show it to them, then try. That's why we want them to try it. And then if they want to get involved, do. All right. So you guys, I hope that I've shared something with you today on building your business, identifying your audience. Remember, I liken it to a chess game a little bit because, their moves, I make a move, they make a move. Well, when you're talking to someone, you make a move, they make a move, and you want to basically identify constantly, in that conversation, where it's going, where's the conversation going, and just get better at that, and then bringing them into your network, even if it begins with friendship. Remember, at the end of the day, the first thing you establish with the people that you've met that you didn't know before is friendship. Establish, and that's a skill too, by the way. All right, just getting comfortable with a handshake, a smile, conversing with someone in a very friendly, unique manner, where all of a sudden they just bond to you as a friend. And then second, after establishing the friendship, trust, and that's done just by being genuine, and being honest, answering their questions they may have. And you'll find that once that happens, people tend to want to do business with people they trust. So with that, thank you everyone for joining today. And I will pass it, I guess, back to you, Claudia.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Dave. That was such a great training. Who here wants to have like a 1 minute with Dave? We have to create that. I have been asking Dave for this for a while. I think I'm going to focus again and see. I would love to have my 1 minute with Dave every morning with that little training. So if you want, I'd love that.
I will take you up on that, Claudia.
Very good. So Mati, what did you think? What was your takeaway from today's training?
Okay, I took a lot of notes. Okay. I like in the beginning you said desire and readiness to do something, or like that. Also, I understood better the different colors of the personality, because I was reading before about that, too much information. Now I think I am green and yellow, like Claudia, because I love people. I love to help others. I want to help everyone. But I want the people to understand that they need that help, but some people know it's up to them. The follow-up is very important also, because even people after 2-3 years, almost 3 years in the business, they now believe me. They start to buy from me, but they have to see me all the time. Social media, talking to them, follow up the people from a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. I like to talk to people anyway. My friends, I love everyone. But yeah, many things. Even the bad things. They tell me bad things about me, my videos. I don't care, because I know I'm doing from my heart the things that I'm doing to progress. If people say something negative, because they are feeling negative too. I like the way that you said that about people talking bad about us. It helped me a lot. Thank you.
Great, Maddie. You're obviously very social as well, very friendly, very social person. And so I think that your ability to establish friendships with people is very simple, because you're a likable person. I mean, just listening to you, you seem like a very fun person, a very likable person. You care about people genuinely. So, that's a wonderful attribute, part of your personality, so keep doing what you're doing. This whole business is about change. We change, we grow, we develop, we evolve. And the funny thing is, there was an event in Tennessee, the Ignite event. It was last weekend, not this past weekend, but the one before. And Juan Rosado finished up, he closed it. And I was watching a video clip. You talk about change, someone who is just completely different today. That's an example of someone who was a quiet, shy person, never made any money in his life, broke, uneducated, didn't even finish high school, living in a basement, his uncle's basement, working in a car lot, watching cars, from a wooden shack. That look at where he is today. And that's a testament, again, to this business, how it can take someone and mold them, change them. to turn them into super networker, super entrepreneur. But you have to open yourself up to let that happen. You have to go through it. And going through it, just like you said right now, Maddie, there are some people that they may not be ready. And some people may not even be ready to see you be ready. In other words, they resist you making changes. All right. Especially if they're friends and family. They see you changing and they're like, no, wait a minute, wait. And so what I did, and I apologize that I'm going on here, but when I first got into networking at the age of 21, I was almost 22, one of the first things that happened to me, the friends I had around me that I used to go hang out and party with and have fun with, all of a sudden I started moving away from them because they went in one direction and I went into another direction. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be like the people I would see at the meetings I went to. And so that's life. It's about change. It's about growth. It's about evolving. So thanks you guys again. Maddie, thank you for your participation. All of you, Trish, I see I have Eva Lisa on with us today as well. Thanks you guys. Love you all. Let's keep going. Let's keep growing. Claudia, I'll pass it back to you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. Gabby has turned on her camera.
Oh,
so
she's here. Okay.
If she wanted to finish up today, I was going to close. I wanted to remind everybody, Health Talk tomorrow with Dr. Regina. Dr. Regina, please send me that topic so I can share. And I'm just going to leave us with a great mentor who has also grown a lot in the past few years with her leadership and mentorship. And who else than our beautiful Platinum Gabby. Gabby, you can close us with a last tip and a goodbye.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Dave, for the presentation. So it's very educational. And even though I hear you every day, I still learn something from you. But yes, I was as well very, this For Life is actually the only company I've ever networked in. Obviously, I had a great teacher, but I also got thrown in to the crocodile pit because in this business, I see it, okay? I see conventions, I see seminars, and in the back room, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. In the back room, okay? While our husbands are on stage as gold, platinum wives, I can hear them bickering. They're saying, I'm the one that got us in this business, or I'm the one that had that idea, or, the company doesn't see me as an equal. Well, you know what, ladies? We do have to fight a little bit harder to get recognition, okay? And I know every single one of you is amazing, okay? So you have my recognition, okay? Why I'm saying this is because it's true. Us women, even in the workforce, we are overlooked many, many times. Okay, and we could have the most fabulous ideas and marketing and all that. Obviously, there's in the media lately, there's been some women that have made some really interesting selections in their marketing plan. But as long as you are basically in network marketing, let's say, you make up about 80% of the network marketing industry. And for that, I applaud you, because not only are we network marketers, we're also mothers, wives. We have to still do grocery shopping. We still have to cook. We have to clean. We have to do laundry. We have to find time to network, find time to make our samples, find time to prospect. So we are Wonder Women, okay? And I'm talking about the kind that I wonder where I left my keys. I'm talking about the kind of women that are wonders, that can accomplish anything in your life. And for that, I applaud you. And you know what? You will make it. You will make it to gold, and your life is going to change. Because usually at a gold level, it drastically changes. You start going on these trips, people start wanting to take pictures with you. And it's like being a celebrity in your circle. It's actually a very good place to be. And with that, success is not promised to you at a gold level or at a platinum level. We have to work at it every single day. We really do, because success is like writing a song. You have a one-hit wonder, and then everyone forgets about you. You know, back in the 80s, I know because I still listen to 80s songs, and I'm like, whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that singer? But that's kind of my point. So yes, at a gold and platinum level, we still have to work hard. We still have to prospect. We still have to give samples. We still have to talk. And not only for us, but for you, to teach you guys how to network the way, well, at least the way Dave and I do it. But gosh, Juan Rosado does it different. Herminio does it different. Jeff does it different. All our golds and platinums have their own way of doing gold and platinum. And that's why it's so important for all of you to hear a little of everyone and take bits and pieces, write them down on a book, and use that knowledge, use it, because there's more than one way to do it. And with that, oh, my camera went off again, hold on. And with that, it's is it the last week of the month already? Wow.
Yeah.
So let's end strong, and let's make May your month to progress and just network. Talk to 3 people a day. 3 people a day is your goal. And it's only 3 people a month you have to sponsor, or 3 customers. So if you talk to 3 people every day, you're on your way there. And sorry, my camera keeps shutting off. I have to restart my computer. So with that, I love you guys. Mwah. Have an amazing week, and we will be seeing you on our next Zoom call. Thank you. Have a good evening, morning, or wherever in the world you are.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Dave. Dave, you can close the meeting. I'm having issues with my, I'm the host, but you can close. I think you can close. If not, everybody,
Bye, everyone.
you can leave the room.
Unmute everyone if you want.
No, I can't unmute them.
Give us some energy.
Dave, you can unmute them.
Yeah.
There we are.
Dave.
Keep going, keep growing. Let's go, you guys.
Go.
Thank
Thanks, Debbie, Dave,
Thank
Claudia,
Super
everyone. Goodbye.
networkers.
Thank you.
Unmute everyone, sweetie.
Yeah, he did. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay,